All right, welcome back to Retirement Unplugged. You'll probably notice we did change the name from One Day at a Time to Retirement Unplugged. So I just want to make a note of that. So when you go to the video, you go, well, okay, what's going on? So you'll see that change on there. Just enjoyed that name a little bit better, I guess.
Right.
So what do you think about that new name?
I like it.
Me too. Like it a little better, right?
Yeah. Does it make you think of the TV show?
The what?
The TV show One Day at a
Oh, yeah.
Time.
The
Does
old,
yeah.
the old One Day at a Time. Well, I used to wear that show out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. But yeah, I didn't think about that. Um, Last time we talked about kind of what the definition of really one day at a time looks like, after retirement, all those good things. So this time, I'd like to talk a little bit about, I don't know, when I was young, my parents never really talked about, retirement, or at least not to us kids that I know of. Never really talked to me about it.
Right.
How do you know what path to take, when you retire or you're thinking about retiring? How do you know what path you need to take? Because
How do you get ready for it?
man, I'm figuring out along the way that there's so many avenues to take. So, when I was young, I never thought about retirement, number one, but also I never really heard my dad talk about retiring or what to do when you retire or how to set up for retirement, how to prepare at a young age or as a young man or a young woman to retire or to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, how do you get when you decide to retire? How do you get all the information?
Right.
I've been looking at this for however long. I never really thought about retirement, all the avenues, never really learned anything from my parents on retirement. Now I did pay attention to how they spent money and how they did those type things, but I never really planned for retirement. So, how do you get down this road?
So, like, did you ever know? I mean, do you ever even think to ask them about it?
No, what? No, not
Yeah.
at all. I mean, who at a young? I mean, what age do you start thinking about retiring or thinking about, hey, I should be asking these questions? I mean, you're living your life, right?
Well, I don't
As a
know.
young person.
In high school, we would play the stock market with our one of our coaches. He taught economics, and they talked about retirement. So I did have those conversations, especially with my dad,
Oh, really?
because he's the one that set us up a checking account. When we were like 13 years old, and a
Yeah.
savings account, and he would show us how to write checks and things like that that kids are not taught these days on how to do.
Oh, I wasn't taught back then either.
Yeah. But he talked to us about 401ks, and he talked to us about setting money aside and things like that. And then I know in the education department, they host seminars on retirement. So, like when you become a teacher, you can go to a seminar and learn all about retirement. So, let's say you're 21, 22 years old, fresh out of college, and you're not sure, you don't know anything about it. You can go to these free seminars,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that, but that's at a later age.
but that's still
When I was
young. That's 21, 22 years old.
right. Yeah. So when I went to college, now we did have those classes that prepared you for whether you're taking out loans, what that looks like after you graduate,
Right.
and taking those classes that showed you, talked about some retirement things. But
Yeah.
I'm more talking about at a young age, where you're still thinking about, what's going on in high school, who's dating who, my
Right.
prom,
Yeah.
that kind of nonsense. You're not thinking about retirement, but it's funny because I think about it now,
Hmm.
and every time I think about something, I try to shovel that towards my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I give them the information, talk to them about Roth IRAs because man, I've been looking at all this stuff about retirement money, funds, variable annuities, Roth IRAs,
Right.
Fidelity. What avenue do you take?
Yeah.
And I know everybody's different, but it's like there's so many different avenues. So at what age can you get your kids to thinking about or planning or doing some things for the future? Which I
Right.
think Roth IRA is a good one.
Yeah. And our kids are doing that. So
Yeah, I don't think all of them are, even though I've been on all of them. I think I
Yeah,
sent every one of them a text. I'm like, look, you got $25 extra a week to spare right now.
that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How about put that in a Roth and then look at, and just don't even think about it, 25 a week
yeah,
in a Roth. And then when you get retirement age, man, that money's sitting there tax free. It's already, it's already
yeah,
been taxed. So that's a good thing.
right.
But, I wish somebody would have done that for me. And I think about that now.
Yeah,
Uh, but I wish somebody would have done that for me back then, or at least taught me those things, because heck, I wouldn't even taught those things. And now
hmm,
I'm having to learn it on my own. I was listening to the guys that were older than me. I was listening to them at work, and hey, I'm getting ready to retire. This is what I'm planning on doing. But I'd pay attention,
right.
even though I wasn't close to retirement. I'd still pay attention.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It's just a lot to think about. And now that I'm in this process, I think about the kids.
hmm.
I think, man, I hope they're making good decisions. I hope they're thinking about this stuff. And they're probably not.
I think they are.
Well,
Well, I can say I can speak for my own. I think they do think about it, but I think it is because of you. I mean, I've talked to him about it, just because, like I said, my dad did talk to us about this at a very early age, and he talked about saving money and things like that. Not that I was a steward of it, but
none of us were.
I spent it better than I saved it. But I think that our kids are doing a better job than what we did at their age.
Yeah. The other thing that I think about is I don't know that I was making the kind of money back then to be able to even do anything other than what the company provided for you,
Yeah,
than what these kids make today.
yeah,
You know, I mean, they do better than
yeah. That's what I'm saying. They do better than I did. Absolutely.
that's for sure. That's for sure. So, you know, I hope people that are listening are thinking about the same things, and they probably are.
Yeah.
How do I get my kids involved in the future?
Hmm.
Uh, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it when I was a kid that it was a big deal, but I think about it today
Right.
only because I'm going through it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it's fresh. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, out there, if you've got comments on that about things that you talk to your kids about, I mean, feel free to comment on some of this, because I'm still learning. Even though I'm 55, I'm still learning
Yeah.
about retirement. I'm still learning about everything that's available out there. Something else that I've realized or been told, and I look into everything that I've been told, is that the number of avenues, going through a bank, going through Fidelity, going through somebody that's a financial advisor, there's a bunch of things. There's some things that cost you money
There's some
to do.
things that
There's
are
some
free.
things that are free that come with the bank maybe that you do business with. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff out there, and probably a lot that I still don't know. So, like I said, if you can comment on that, because I'd like to know myself.
Right. And there's so many rules that, like we were talking about earlier, when we were coming back from the lake, it's like,
I mean, like 55.
yeah, like the 55 rule, or do you wait till you're 69 and a half? I mean, like, or 65 and a half, it's like, what do you do? Or whatever the number is. It's like, isn't there numbers for everything?
Oh, sure, there is, but I mean, it's like, okay, there's the 55 rule where you can draw from, or make a one-time draw,
Yeah.
right? And then you can't draw from your retirement account like a steady withdrawal until you're 59 and a half. You know? So, and then then after that, I think it's 62 or 62 and a half where Social Security kicks in. So, you'll be
Yeah.
drawn from both, you know what I mean?
Really? At 62?
I think so. I think so.
Mm,
Don't hold me to that one, but I know a lot about the 55 rule just because I've looked at it
yeah.
a gazillion times
Right.
because I'm unsure what to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, me as well as anybody else out there, you figure that stuff out. You finally just go, no, all right, I gotta make a move.
Right.
I'm gonna do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Off the subject though, I was thinking about all this stuff with Trump going on, like all from his speech the other night. Did you watch any of that?
No.
Have you seen any clips on any of that stuff?
No.
He talked about money. government waste and all the money like Elon is showing all this stuff.
Hmm.
Holy cow. I could use some of that money for retirement.
Yeah.
Maybe they should give some of that back to us, right?
Amen.
I just noticed that it's a lot. And now I've just been seeing so much stuff on corruption, with you name it. I don't care if it's a mayor, a governor, I don't member of Congress. It doesn't matter who it is.
But you know what the sad part of it all is you can't believe everything you see and you hear. So it's like how much of it is real and how much of it's fake. Like,
Yeah.
can you look at those videos or watch those videos and say, oh yeah, this really happened? Because it makes me question, just like before when Trump wasn't president, you don't know what's real and what's not real, what's
Yeah.
fake news,
True.
just to get everybody going. Because I did see where, everybody's going to get a check for this and everybody's going to get a check for that. And that's, I mean, oh, I didn't either. But there were people that believe that because, they're coming to school going, oh my gosh, did you see we're about to get, so many $1,000? Every family's going to get this. I'm like, do you honestly believe that that's going to happen? No.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that's going to happen.
So how much of it is real or how much of it people are just making videos to get a rise out of other people?
Get some clicks.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But we were talking about money and retirement and stuff, and I just seen some videos earlier that it was just, if it's true, it's disgusts me because most Americans are sitting here living on or trying to make it on, not a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are telling us what to do or how we should think and all this stuff that are just robbing the system. And they become millionaires,
Mm-hmm.
And what's sad is they're becoming millionaires, multimillionaires on the same type of money that I made as a steel company worker. That's how much they make per year, but yet they're multimillionaires and I'm not.
Right.
So, that's why I think about, I thought about some of the things because they were talking about that Doge stuff the other night during his speech, and he rattled off some numbers, about wasteful spending and where some of this stuff's going. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
Because and it bothers me because a lot of Americans are struggling. So that's what made me think about it, I guess. I know it's off subject, but hey, had to throw that in there.
Right.
But yeah, back to the retirement piece as far as getting our kids involved. Yeah, I'd like to. I'm hoping that they take notice and they do something about it early, and they get involved in a lot of those programs, so they do set themselves up for success.
Right.
I want them all to be way more successful than I am.
Well, I think about our youngest is 23, and he has more in savings at 23 than I did at 23. You know what I'm saying? And I know times are different and everything, but he has the 401k and the Roth and all the things like that. And that just amazes me.
Yeah.
And then, the 25-year-old, he does too. And the 27-year-olds, they do too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they all are just, they seem like they're taking care of themselves.
Yeah. I will say the first company I worked for out of college, I had retirement, but they really didn't stress what you got involved with in retirement.
Right. Where the companies do today.
I was with an ag company.
Right.
My background's in agriculture, but lo and behold, I went to work for a steel company. Imagine that. But now when I went to the steel company, they really, kept you, you were up to date in all the things that were going on with your Fidelity investments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, early on, you really couldn't get into it and move things around. Later on, I'd say 5 years into me being there, they changed it to where you could move your money around and whatever programs you wanted to get involved with and things like that. Whether it's good and bad in that, I don't know, but I never really moved mine around. I saw a financial advisor right when I first started, really getting into it to kind of move my stuff around to where, hey, what's the most beneficial? How can I make the most money and all that good stuff? And I will say that company really believed in people doing, I think, doing well.
Right.
Even to the point of, what's the guy's name that I don't know, you used to see on all the show you how to save money, show you how to spend money. What was that guy's name? Man,
Ramsey, Dave
Dave
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Even the company sent us to Dave
Oh,
Ramsey.
yeah.
I mean, not just our facility, all of them, I think.
Right.
But I mean, and they paid for it
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. So they wanted people to have financial freedom. I mean, you're making great money. You want to, you want to be able to enjoy that at some point. I think they really set the stage for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Did the school systems do that kind
They
of?
do.
Oh, they did.
That's what I'm saying. When you start out, you can go in and take these seminars. Now they offer them online, but before, and they still do some in person, where it just kind of gives you an idea of what retirement looks like and what you need to do. But with the education system, there is no, like, you don't get to play the stock market, or you don't get to play around with your money. You can put the max amount in, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Oh,
no,
so you can't really get in there and mess
no,
with it.
no, not with the State Department. No, it is a flat fee.
Yeah.
Or a flat amount. It's, you don't get in there and move it around and
I
mm-mm.
knew a bunch of guys that would do that.
Right.
Man, I knew a guy. I won't ever say his name, but super nice, older guy, really close to retirement. Nucor cut us. Sorry, steel company cut us loose and said, "Hey, you can get in there and put your hands on your
Yeah.
retirement and move stuff around if you want." He lost a bunch of money right out of the gate, just right before he was going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if he's ended up staying long enough
Get it back.
to get it back. I have no idea, but anyways, he did that, and I was just one of those guys. I was like, I don't know if I want to touch it. I need somebody smarter than me messing with it.
Right.
But I do know guys that were smart enough that, I say smart enough, they knew what they were doing, and they actually jumped in there and would move stuff around all the time, and they made money.
Right.
They made money. I never was one of those guys that just paid attention to what every little entity of where my money was going and whether I should move that somewhere else. I just wasn't one of those. I'm a detail guy, but not when it comes to that.
But you're not a risk taker.
Yeah, that's true. Not with that. I'm not. Not when you have something of that magnitude to lose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Uh,
Where I would be like, let's go for it. And you'd have to think about it for a couple weeks. Well, by then it's too late.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and ask all kinds of questions.
I'm like, let's go.
But no, you're right. I was so afraid to touch that stuff. I didn't want to make a mistake
Right.
because it's money.
But you can't think like that.
Well, people that have money don't think like that. Hence, I don't have any money. Right? But I also grew up. We weren't rich by no means.
Yeah.
And so I took care of everything I had
Mm-hmm.
growing up. My cars, I about washed paint off of them, keep them clean, so clean. I just needed them to last. I was just that person. So I wasn't going to take it. I wasn't going to take a chance on messing my savings up.
Right.
Now I probably could have done that 30 years ago and got away with it, but maybe bounced back from it. But no, later on, there's no way I was going to do that.
Yeah.
So, what's your number one regret in your retirement thoughts? As how do I say that? Should you have done something different in the school system, in the education world, with your money than what you did?
But I don't have a choice. That's the thing about it. I don't have it.
So you're automatically enrolled whether you like it or not.
You're automatically enrolled. You're automatically withdrawing the max amount out of your check.
Oh, so once you become employed,
It automatically starts.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, we even had a choice of whether you wanted to be in it or not.
No, it's Retirement Systems of Alabama. So
I got you. Okay. So the way it was for us was you didn't have to contribute.
yeah.
Now, work, the job did contribute X amount,
Mm-hmm.
a percentage.
Yeah.
But you did not have to.
Yeah.
Now you could have taken your money and put it into something else that you chose to put it in that was more important to you. And I did know some guys that did that. Man, I worked with some guys that when I started, were probably 8 years in on their job, and had not contributed 401k, none. And that blew my mind. Now, I don't know whether that's the right thing to do. I don't have any idea. I don't, everybody's
Right.
different. Everybody's got different goals, but I can just remember thinking, oh my gosh.
But maybe they have somebody like an investment broker that is taking that amount that they would have put in to the company's 401k, but they're taking that money and they're doing it. They're letting this person do it for them. That's what my dad did with his own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Like,
So like on the side, he was,
right,
yeah, yeah.
right. He offered 401k, but then like he himself,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they did something different. I don't know.
right.
I just couldn't believe at the time that somebody wasn't involved in the retirement program through the job that you work for
Yeah.
at the time. I just thought that was kind of, different, weird,
Yeah.
if you want, but to each his own. Do what you feel is important.
Right.
That's not how I push our kids. I want our kids to sock back.
That's right.
And that's what I always say. Put that money back, put it back, put anything that you can, put it back.
That's right.
Because at some point, and it'll be here quicker than, I always say,
And they think,
quicker than you think. And then you're staring down the road of how much money do I got? Do I got enough to retire? I should have listened to old dad more? I don't know. That won't happen. But anyways,
if it does, they won't ever admit it.
what's that? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. My number one regret, or something I think I should have done differently, is when I started. I really feel like I should have looked at some other avenues myself. I don't know, not just saying I wouldn't have put in a 401k. I think that's the right thing to do. Roth IRA was not available back when I started. It was later on, when it came about. I wished I would have done that, and I didn't. And I didn't do that because I thought at the time, I'm a little bit too close to retirement that I won't really have that much money into it. I thought, what's the point? Maybe that's not the right thing, but that was my reasoning. I wished I would have reached out to a financial person way sooner, or somebody that knows a lot about stocks and things, and really got on board with somebody and just set aside some money for playing with that, and maybe built some type of, financial background
Right.
with that.
Well, you just said that Roth IRAs weren't available, or is it just that you didn't know about it? Because they've been around for a very long time.
And that's maybe.
I know that I personally had one at the age of 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Then maybe but I didn't know about a Roth IRA, honestly,
Right. So maybe, yeah.
probably 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the honest truth. And maybe I'm a little off on my time. Maybe it's 12 years ago. I have no idea. I just remember thinking at the time somebody was talking about Roth IRAs, and I was just like, "Man, I'm old. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to have enough money in there to buy much with, right?"
Yeah.
Even though I know that's pre-taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're done and you're retired, dude, that's just
It's yours.
available.
Right.
And that's what I tell the kids. But no, I didn't know that.
Because any like anything that you put into it, you pay tax on it. So like I said, mine was around 21, 22, and then I would make another just payment towards it, or a drop in it, something like that. I think I was around 26.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so. I just didn't, like I said, I wasn't aware of it, or a lot of the guys. I told you right up from the beginning, I listened to what a lot of guys talked about.
Right.
Not what my parents talked about.
Right.
What a lot of the older guys at work talked about, because they were going through it or facing it. So I was just kind of eavesdropping on their conversations, more or less. And so that's how I learned about a Roth IRA, but that was not that long ago.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things. And maybe looking back, any amount of money would have helped, I guess. I wish I would have socked it back, but I didn't. You can't look in the past now.
Mm-mm.
You just got to keep moving forward. But yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets, is not taking it on more seriously and looking at other avenues, because, man, I could probably better off or further along. Not that I'm not in okay shape. I'm not, I'm not complaining, but more's better, right?
I guess.
Well, don't you think?
Well, I don't necessarily more is better.
Really, when it comes to money,
No,
especially during retirement.
I understand that, but sometimes you just have to look at the where you are and you have more than most.
Okay, let's say you got more than most, less than some.
That's right.
That's my phrase.
So that's, I don't like the word more when it comes to money because to me that almost seems greed,
So you
greed.
tell me when you hit retirement age,
Hmm.
you don't want the word more involved?
No,
More money?
I don't want more money. I want the max I can have that I can get out of RSA. I want the max that I can have, but I don't want it to the point of greed, you know.
Oh, I'm not being greedy.
Yeah,
I just want to be able to retire comfortably like anybody else. I don't think that's being greedy.
you can.
Yeah, but I don't think that's being greedy,
No,
right?
right. I said that word more, the term
I
more.
just don't like that word.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
To each his own, I guess.
that's right.
So I don't know. A lot to think about because I'm really still just going through this. I've been here lately looking at, reading all the details of the 55 rule, looking at other things that I can be doing because there's what's it called? Oh man, I can't remember what the other one somebody was telling me about putting it into a different, I can't remember the term, but putting it into a different account. But once you hit that other account, you're paying taxes on all of it. And I'm like, well, this tax thing is driving me crazy because it's like anything that you do, if you take money out, it's huge taxes. It shows as an income, all those things. So you really got to, I feel like you almost have to be strategic about what you do right now between 55 and
No, you
59 and a
do.
half. You got to be strategic or you can kind of sell yourself short
Mm-hmm.
or do without.
Mess it up.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have another job or something on the side or, any of that type stuff. It'd be nice if my side gig was kind of hopping right now. And maybe it will be soon.
Right.
We'll see. That would help out. That'd be great. But yeah, so I mean, it's getting kind of difficult. Or I won't say difficult. Or it's just getting to where I'm starting to think about it quite a bit, and it overwhelms you a little bit.
Yeah, because you're not getting a check anymore.
Yeah, yeah, because you're not getting paid no more.
That's right.
Right? I'm living off that savings account right now until I work it out. So I'll get it worked out, just
Yeah.
like everybody else in this world.
Figure it out.
Yeah, they go through the same thing, and everybody figures it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to look at it. And I always say that, and I don't always use that term, but I do sometimes in certain situations. I'm like, figure it out.
Yeah.
We all had to figure it out at some point.
And I'm still working. So.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll divvy some more bills over to you, some high end ones.
Okay.
That way, I won't get so many Amazon boxes at the front door.
No, you'd probably still get them.
You won't have the money to spend on Amazon.
I'll just use your debit card for that.
Okay. Well, there ain't much in there. Not much in there now, girl.
Transfer some money over.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. That's the other thing you got to get used to when you don't have a check coming in. You got to learn how to balance that monthly money.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had to do that. Sad to say, I've never been one. Now, don't get me wrong. I looked at my account a lot, and I kind of knew what I had coming and going.
But when you have a flux of income coming in, you know it's going to be there every other week. You don't sit there and look at it every day.
Oh my gosh!
Now you got to look at it every day.
Yeah, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I got to come up with a better.
I got to transfer some money.
Come up with a better plan.
Well, that's what you ought to just give yourself like an allowance each month. What you know that you need to pay, and then what you think you might need, just your little extras, and transfer that money over, and then just leave it there and see how that works. And if it's not enough, then you'll know, okay, next month I need to bump it up. If it's too much, okay, bump it down. It kind of gives you an idea.
And that's how I looked at it. But let me tell you the problem with that is
What?
The first rolls around and I forget.
You're going to set it. You're going to have to get you a planner. or something. Put it in your phone
I'm not
as
good
an alert
yeah, I'm
on
not
the
good.
first day of every month. Repeat an alert.
I'm not good at planning.
Transfer money.
Yeah. And no, you're right.
No, yeah,
I need like a setting on my phone that says today's the day.
you
Today's
can.
the first.
You can go in for April the 1st and then put reoccurring every month, and it'll send you an alert. April 1st, 7 a.m. Transfer money. I actually need to do it about around. Actually, you need to do it on the 31st,
Yeah,
not wait till the 1st.
yeah, no kidding. And
So
just
March 31st, transfer money.
yeah, just pay everything right off. Right at the beginning of the month, just pay
Exactly.
it all.
That's what I have to do as a teacher. We get paid once a month.
Oh,
So I have to pay it all.
I don't know that I could. I mean, I guess everybody gets used to what they have to do. I'll get used to this, but it's a change.
Now you'll be living like me. Once a month, you'll get paid.
Well, I'm trying to get. That's right.
Yeah.
Once a month.
Once a month, you'll pay yourself.
I'll let you borrow one of my deposit slips. How about that? Yeah, no kidding. I'll be a teacher. Maybe that's what I should just do on the side. Maybe I should be.
You won't make it.
Hey, what do you think if I become a substitute teacher?
You will not make it.
Will they let me do it?
Yeah, you can sign up for it. You can be a bus driver too.
Yeah. I know some guys.
And get benefits.
Yeah, I know some guys that retired to be
Hey.
a bus driver.
3 hours a day? Not
Yeah,
bad.
I don't know.
Hey, not bad.
Some kids.
Oh, you could.
I could.
But you just gotta remember they have audio and video now on the buses.
Well,
It's not like old
back when I
school.
was riding
That's
the
right.
bus,
That's right.
it was wild when we were riding the bus. My
So-
group of friends.
You can't be yelling at them, screaming at them.
You talking about having some good times on the bus?
You ride the bus all the time?
Every once in a while, I'd ride with one of my buddies that lived down the street, but majority of the time, I rode the bus.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I got up to junior, senior, I rode with some buddies because my parents would buy me a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I rode with a buddy or two. But man, we used to all ride the bus together. We had such a great time.
Were you mean?
No, we were fun.
No, were you
So
mean?
our group sat on the very back of the bus, right? Our whole group sat on the very back. And then up front, a group from the other side of the town, they all set up there. And it's like, it was funny because we used to joke, we would pull up to pick them up because we got them first. So we'd pull up to pick them up, or the bus driver would, Brother McKinney, real nice guy. He's a preacher,
Mm-hmm.
Pentecostal preacher on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Super nice guy. Anyways, he'd pull up to pick that group up. And of course, as they're getting on the bus, they're passing a cigarette back to each other, so they don't let that cigarette end. You know what I mean? The last person.
You're smoking on the bus?
No, as they were getting on, they were passing back to each other, whoever the next one to get on was. So they was finishing it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They were finishing. So they would get on. Of course, we would mess with them. They'd mess with us. But it was all in the name of fun. I mean, we had such a good time on the bus. And Brother McKinney, as he liked to be called, he never said a word. Now, you remember the big mirrors above him.
Oh yeah. They still have those.
Yeah. He'd look up in that mirror and he's like, you knew the look. He's like, okay, sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down, act right. So we would act right.
And they would probably act right for you.
Kids don't care today.
These elementary kids would act right for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you walked in the classroom the other day and they were all like, "You're so big."
Well, yeah, but they're kindergartners. I guess I am. You're big compared to a kindergartner.
Yeah, no, they don't think that about me. But he walked in to read for Read Across America Week, Dr. Seuss Week, and the kids were like, "Oh my gosh, he's so big."
But yeah, man, our bus rides are awesome.
So you could be a bus driver.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll play that one by ear.
Hey, there is a woman there. I won't mention her name, but she is beautiful. Beautiful, dresses to the nines. I mean, she is got her hair fixed, makeup on. She's got her heels on. And she started out subbing as a bus driver. Now she has a permanent position. She's working, she's doing a maternity leave in the classroom, but she is amazing. Like, I am in awe of her just because I'm like, I could not do that. And she gets on there and she does it. She drove us to the zoo last year for our field trip, one of our field trips. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Like a retired woman?
No, she's got 2 littles. I've taught both of her kids, and yeah, first and second grade.
Now, on your bus, those kids would get away with anything, but now you could do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good for me.
You think so?
I think so. That may be what I do when I retire.
Well, yeah, there you go. No, you should deliver Amazon boxes during Christmas again.
Yeah,
See, I didn't think you would hold up to that, and you did good.
yeah,
I say I didn't think you could hold up. I knew you could do it. I didn't really want you to have to do it by no means, but you wanted to do it,
yeah,
and you did.
yeah.
You did good. You're a little tougher than I thought. Well, just that time.
UPS is tough.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah.
I mean, them boys were on the go, weren't they?
Oh yeah, out there
In the countryside.
and on roads that I didn't even think existed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could be a bus driver. That's your new calling.
No,
No. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Not either. But I do. I have some buddies that are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good. I mean,
retirement.
it's good money, and you've got benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what they said. What
So-
did you say, 3 hours a day or something?
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half in the.
Unless it's
Afternoon.
cold, give the excuse a bus won't start.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but when I was young, them buses started in the snow.
We're in Alabama, not Missouri.
Buses have the same motor.
It doesn't. Hey,
Whatever. I don't want to hear it. That's the biggest bunch of nonsense.
it's okay.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of retirement. I said, but there's several retirement jobs like that somebody could get involved with, and maybe I'll have to someday. I don't know. Maybe I'll get bored enough that I'll do it.
That you will do it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if my side business doesn't pick up or start. That's what I really enjoy. That's what I really want to do. Just because I grew up on a farm. I love being around tractors and stuff.
Mhm.
I've always liked that. That's something that I think would be fun. So if my side gig picks up a little bit, well, maybe.
Well, most of the men that drive buses are retired. That drive for us are retired. I'll say.
And it's my understanding that there's jobs across the whole state for bus drivers. Is that
There
right?
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of retirement opportunities.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think those guys are like really retired. I don't know that it matters, right? Does it?
Mm-mm.
Just as long as I guess you apply and you pass, I don't know, a test or something. Pass, back a bus. I don't know what you got to do.
You got to drive it.
Yeah, well, I know that, but
You could do it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure if I could drive some 10-wheelers and things like you used to drive back on the farm, or
Yeah.
whatever, I can handle that.
That's right.
It's the screaming kids that I just don't know about.
They wouldn't be screaming for you. That's what I'm saying. You would have them quiet in an instant.
Probably some kids on that bus that were just like me and my buddies.
But you just got through saying y'all had fun.
We had a great time. I mean, the bus driver may not have thought it was a great time because we had some fill-in drivers before that didn't have such a great time, which was very funny. That's a great story. I don't know that I want to share it, but we were hellions.
Yeah.
In our group, we were hellions, but I don't know. We did have fun. We enjoyed it. But anyways, so the retirement portion of it, yeah, it's a good thing to go and drive a bus, and yeah, like I said, get the benefits and stuff. And there's a lot of people that go that avenue.
Yeah.
But I see you didn't send me down the road of substitute teaching.
No, that's a big no.
Don't think I can handle it.
I know you couldn't handle it. I'm not even going to.
Like what grade? I couldn't handle what grade group.
I don't think you can do any of them.
Really?
No, you don't have the patience for it.
But I have the patience to be a driver.
Mm-hmm. That's different.
Well,
Yep.
you're probably right. Yeah.
Because
All day class.
all day versus maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah. So, I went and read in your class the other day, and then I read in a second class, and that took me a total of 30 minutes I was there.
Right.
I was sweating when I left.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, these kids, none of them would hardly mind. You got to tell them all to sit down 3 or 4 times. In the other class that I was in, they sat right at my feet,
Mm-hmm.
making me nervous.
Yeah.
Not really. But I was just like, I was sweating a little bit
Yeah.
when I left. I'll be honest, I was.
I'm
I
sure.
enjoyed it. I mean, I appreciated to be able to do it. And I think you and the other teacher, both of y'all said, "Hey, appreciate you. Come back anytime. You're
Right.
retired." I'm like,
That's right.
yeah, I don't know if this is where I want to spend my retirement, but
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
It was a good time. But anyways, lots of retirement opportunities out there for folks that want to do something extra after their so-called retirement.
Right.
Um, but anyways, um, what else you got on the agenda today?
I don't think I have anything
No
else.
retirement questions for like folks that are watching or anything like that?
No.
Hmm.
I'm not as I'm not, I still have a little bit of
Yeah,
time.
you
So
gotta be
it's,
thinking about
oh, I think about it, but it's not
it. You
like,
just wait till I tell you.
no, it is like once I get to, I only have 4 years left, then 3 years left, then hey, I
What
want,
did you say? You got seven?
I got 7.
Yeah.
So give me 3.5 more years, then I'll get a little more serious about it. But like I
Okay.
said, I do have savings and I do have, a Roth but then I have my retirement systems that, comes from the school.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's nothing I can do with that. It's just there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ask them to take out more out of my check
Yeah.
and add
Is-
to it, but it's set at a certain percentage depending on how many years you've put in but then you can ask them, oh, okay, well, I want to add $100 extra a month, but that's all you can do. Like, you can't sit there and go, okay, well, I want to put this in a high risk you know stock or something like that. There's nothing you can do.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wonder how who sets that up for them or y'all or how, what stocks does it go to or
It's not in a stock.
what's it
It's
in?
sitting in an account, just an account.
I saw somewhere, I think it was Arkansas, they were talking about building some facility in Arkansas and they borrowed the money from the teachers union or
Mm-hmm.
teachers, whatever it's called. What's it called?
I
Is
mean,
it teachers union?
I've heard of teachers union. Yeah.
So, but anyways, and it said funded by, and it was the teachers. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. So they must go out and, uh,
Recruit.
well, I don't know what you mean by recruit, but I think they must go out and they give out, they gave this company, a loan,
Mm-hmm.
right, to build this, to build something, or they were one of the people that gave a loan. They must make money off that.
Well, I would say it's
Who
like
was the
our
teachers union?
RSA.
What is that?
That's our Retirement Systems of Alabama.
Uh,
That is so RSA, can, hey, I'm going to fund this, I'm going to fund that, and but it's not taking money from us. It's just like any other type of business.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? So maybe that's what it's called, is Arkansas's Teachers
Well,
Union.
it said that they funded it. I mean, almost like it's the way it sounds to me, like it's an investment, like like this company was an investment for the teachers union, so that probably in the end, the payback on whatever that loan or whatever that funding was, the teachers union makes money on that investment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, that means that teachers union has to be large. The cash flow has to be large, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. The RSA, they this the whole state of Alabama.
Yeah.
Every teacher,
Every
every
teacher has
retired
uh,
teacher, every active teacher, it goes through them.
yeah, they're all in the same system. I'll be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's what it is. They're making money off some of these loans that they're giving out to these other companies to help bring. I mean, because if you think about it now, so this is a steel mill that I'm talking about that was built in Arkansas, and I saw where the teachers union, I think is what it was called, was part of the funding. But now, if you think about it, in the end, they're going to make money off of it. But if it's brought to a certain area, whatever area it's brought to, that's going to bring in a number of people
Mm-hmm.
for work, schools, children for schools. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in the end, there's other funding that comes with that for the school systems themselves. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
I'm curious to know. Otherwise, why would they?
Why would they do it?
Yeah, why would they do it? There's something behind it,
Oh, I'm sure.
right? That's interesting. It's interesting because that is a lot of money that goes through that system, RSA or whatever you call it. Uh, but yeah, when I'm thinking about all this retirement stuff, sometimes it gets overwhelming. Um, there's so much stuff to think about. And I know for the people, if you listen to our video, I'm curious, or I know you're curious as well as to what all's out there, what avenues to take. Man, I found that you can talk to somebody different, whether it's in like the same type place I worked or another facility or somebody that's out of the school system, whatever. Everybody has a different path of what they're of what
Of what
that
they're going to do.
of how they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It makes your head spin because I just heard for the first time the other day about variable annuities. I don't even know what that is. Do you?
Well, I mean, I know what an annuity is, but variable,
What is
it
it?
means it's just, it's not a constant, right?
I don't know. I don't know. But this was a guy that's in the same situation that I am that said somebody had mentioned something to him about variable annuities that he need to ask about that. And I was like, I have no idea. He asked me if I knew what that was. I said, no, I've never heard that term. Maybe I'm
Did he explain it to you?
no, because he wasn't sure. He said somebody just had said, hey, next time you talk to your financial guy, ask him about these variable annuities. And I was thinking, all right, it's another thing that I just don't know. And I did at the time, I didn't think to Google it. I mean, I'm big on Googling something,
Right.
on asking Google questions, but I didn't even think about it at the time, or maybe I did and I forgot, but I'm bad about that too. But yeah, so that's another thing that I don't know anything about.
Right.
So maybe if somebody out here knows that can fill us in, maybe maybe it's something I need to look into. I don't know, but I'm just curious to figure all of this out. I will just say, know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what time is it?
One day at a time.
One day at a time. All righty. What other questions you got?
I don't have anything.
You can't say one day at a time anymore. Well,
You can say
yeah,
it.
we're spending one day at a time.
We're
All right,
spending
that's
one
good.
day at
You
a
can do
time.
that.
Yeah.
But just
Day to day.
day to day, one day at a time. But anyways, all right. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. If you enjoy the video, we appreciate you watching. Until next time.